Hi everybody, we're going to start here in just a minute. We're letting Freddie get us all hooked up so that we go through the website. We're streaming now. Probably have 30 seconds and then we'll be going live and getting this showboat on the road. How we all doing? Okay, just about there. Just about, all right. Hi everyone, my name is Mary Kay Anderson and I own and operate the Vibrational Institute, which is connected to Irish hypnosis and clinics. I want to talk to you today, and I've been giving talks about past life regression. First, before that, if you're watching the replay, thank you very much for listening to the replay, and we'll have some really cool information in here for you. So we're going to talk past life regression, and a lot of people, I used to be one of them, past life regression, oh, I want to help people now, that doesn't matter, that's all old, that's all stuck. And yeah, those are things I used to think too. But on the other hand, in my application of this in my work, I have found that there are some people that you can't help in this life. Some people are so stuck in a pattern that they don't even know where it came from or how it came or where it came from. So the bottom line is as a hypnotherapist, I find there are times that I need to use the therapeutic tool of past life regression. Why? Well, because all the things I know to do as a hypnotist in working with things that they've experienced, quote, in this life, they're not working, or they can't connect, or there's something in the way, or they can't feel that, or they don't understand that. And that's all okay. Those are things. But so I need some mechanisms in which to be able to help these people connect and get relief from a pattern that that they no longer want in their life. So this is why I use one of the tools. It's a very ancient tool. A lot of religions believe that you must work your way up the wheel of life, so to speak, from a low energy or low incarnation into something that's big and bright, and then you can jump off that wheel into enlightenment. I don't quite hold that view, and that's okay. Some do, some don't. And the bottom line is no. Okay, sorry. I hit the wrong, Sister Gray, I'm sorry. But that was an accident. I hit the wrong button. So I apologize to you. So the bottom line is that I have to find a way to help them. And that's what it boils down to. I have to find a way. So past life regression is one of the things we can do. Now, can you regress yourself? Of course you can. Hey, Freddie. Of course you can regress yourself. Absolutely, of course. You can regress yourself through dreams. You can regress yourself through doing a little meditation and allowing yourself to go back through those past lives. There's a lot of ways. Meditation, I've seen past lives in meditation. I've dreamt them. Sometimes I'll have seen something, I had a deja vu moment. And in the past, I would have wondered, oh, what is that? But if I have those anymore, I go, oh, what's this about? And I sort of do a little meditation and connect into that. Also, I've created a file that will help you go back and access a general regression. And at the end, I'll tell you how you can get that if you want it. All right. So there are lots of ways that we can access past life regression. Now, the thing is that everybody thinks you have to be hypnotized, you have to meditate. There's a lot of ways that you can access, which I've named a few of them. Dreams. I used to dream that I spoke, as a child, I used to dream that I spoke fluent Spanish. I'm like, well, that's weird. And when I came into school, when I was, in my freshman year, we call that ninth class. I don't know what class it is, but I know what it is in America. I don't know what it is here. But, getting ready to get out of school pretty soon, I was offered a language, and I could do Russian or Spanish. And I went, better do Spanish because I don't think Russian appeals to me. But I found out that I have a talent for the Spanish language. I got straight A's for 4 years. I never got less than an A in my classes. I spoke apparently quite fluently and with a very good accent. And I had all the cool kids at school who were in my class asking me for help with their Spanish homework. But I had a knack, a predisposed knack for the Spanish language. And I then found out that I had a past life later, after I'd kind of got into this kind of work. I had a past life I was a Spanish woman who was in love with somebody that I wasn't supposed to be in love with, and they were killed and beheaded. And I was crying and moaning, wailing in Spanish. And so there was my past life with the language, Spanish language. So there's those ways. There's a lot of those ways. Another way is a phrase. So if you have a phrase that you use regularly, we can use that like we would do like a mantra. So let's say we had somebody who had a phrase that said I've got to get out of here. And we did a demonstration with them, and we used that phrase, I got to get out of here. And they found themselves trapped and tied down in a castle in 16 something or another. And we actually looked this up. And what happened is that the castle itself, the events all happened back in the 1600s, but the date she gave was in the 1900s, which we all thought was odd. But apparently someone discovered in that 1900 something, they discovered a secret passage or something where people could get out. So it was very interesting because it was all a lot like what we had discussed in the regression that we did for the demonstration. So that's pretty amazing. So there's a lot of ways that we can access these past lives. This is why sometimes if you're going down and maybe you have a little deja vu, it could trigger something in your mind that says, oh my gosh, I've done this before. And if you kind of have the ability to access in for just a little quick meditation, kind of explore the feeling, explore the surroundings, you may actually be able to access something from that past life. However, as a hypnotherapist, I mostly use hypnotherapy to, sorry, I have to pin up my hair there a little bit. I primarily use hypnotherapy to access these past lives. And what's the sense, some people say? The sense is that for whatever reasons, there is energy trapped in your big energy, so to speak. It's trapped in there, creating these patterns that are not allowing you to move forward. And if we've tried working in what we know that has happened to you in this life and nothing's happening, then we have nowhere else to go. So what we do is we go ahead then and we look for something beyond this life to see if that karmic pattern is attached to something in a past life. Now, some people pshaw it and it's craziness or it's nuts or it's stupid or whatever it is. And I used to be a naysayer. Yes, I did. However, what I have discovered in doing past life regression is that it's not my place to tell you if it's real or not. If it's real to you, then it is real. Okay? That's the point. If it is real to you, it is real. If it's not real to you, then it's not. And that's all okay. As I tell my classes, I am not here to prove anything. I have nothing to prove. And guess what? I can't prove it. I can only work with my experiences. I can only work with what happens, what I understand, or what I've experienced with the clients, or what I experienced for myself. That's all I know. And beyond that, I can't tell you. There are some explanations. People say, oh, well, your mind just kind of makes that up. Well, it might seem like it's made up, but in a lot of cases, we've been able to validate that what they were speaking about actually did happen. The one thing that made me more of a believer than ever was a young boy who knew everything about planes. He was 3, going around telling everybody about planes. He was talking about a fighter pilot who had died and knew his family and things about this older woman that nobody should have known but him. Things about like a picture and things he did or things she didn't do. And it was amazing. So with all that in mind, and I couldn't find a place where it was treachery or fake or whatever. I did a lot of investigation before I succumbed to believing that this had the possibility of being real. So what's the whole bottom line of doing past life regression? Well, the first thing, as I've mentioned, is that it allows us to access information that we may not be able to access otherwise. Okay? It allows us to help someone who's had a bad experience be able to tell the story, because sometimes they just can't tell the story. And if they can't tell the story about their life here, then if we introduce a concept of past lives, then my theory on that is if we integrate that, because our subconscious is there to protect us, if we go ahead and pursue this thing that we're looking for, that subconscious is going to go, no, we can't do this. You don't need to know this. You can't see this, okay? Because it wants to protect the person. So if we introduce the concept of another life, another person, same energy but different person, I believe that it sets the subconscious off guard just enough for us to be able to access the information, and thereby the subconscious, via the subconscious, this person is able to tell their story. Albeit in a different form, in a different manner, they're still able to tell that story. And the people need to tell, particularly people with trauma, who've been traumatized, they need to tell their story. Because if they can't speak their story, write their story, or tell their story in any other way, it builds and it builds and it builds until it creates another big problem in their life. So being able to tell the story is so important. And past life regression helps us to be able to tell the story. That's all we want. And for some people, that's the best medicine right there. Just being able to tell their story does an immense amount of healing within them. So it's all about telling the story. So how can past lives help you? Well, they can help you by bringing out talents you didn't know you have. Like I spoke fluent Spanish. I didn't know I could, but once I got the lessons, I was very fluent and was a knack. It was like I knew the language already. It was very easy for me to learn that language. So that was interesting. So new talents. You may discover that you know places that other people don't. And let me tell you a little story about a young man. I think this was over in Africa. It was either Africa or Asia. I can't remember which. But this young boy kept talking about how he had died and where he was buried. And the family was like, what are you talking about? I was killed, and I know who killed me, and I'll show you where I'm buried. And the parents are like, this is too strange, you know? But they finally listened to him. And he took them to a grave in which, and again, before he said I was buried, I think he was hit with a shovel or hit with something, and it killed him. And they went to a grave. He showed them the grave wherewith there was a skeleton, a male skeleton, and he had been hit in the head. And they said, well, how did this happen? He says, I know who did this. So they got the police. They told the police. The police were a little bit bizarrely surprised. However, they did go and look at the skeleton, and the timeline was about right, because when he's saying he was killed, this young boy wasn't alive yet. He wasn't born yet. And they went to this man's house, and the little boy knocked on the door. He said, "You killed me." And they started questioning him, and the guy was so freaked out that he broke down and said, "Oh my God, yes, I did." And so these are things, how do we explain them? I can't explain them. Is it some phantasmical story somebody made up? Well, these things apparently were researched, and they were not made up. They were real. So here we go. So there's a lot of ways and things. Or maybe there's a problem that you have that you don't know where this came from. You've never had that experience ever in your life. Or the experience doesn't match what the problem is. And so what happens is we need to look at another course. So we need to be able to take and access a part of our energy that we no longer have conscious access to. Does that make sense? Past life regression is accessing part of your energy that you do not have conscious access to. And for that, we need to find trance. We put you in trance, and we take you back to where this energy is residing within you, within your collective, within whatever. But we are doing all that so that we can help you overcome the hurdle that you just can't seem to get over. I've had so many interesting past life regressions that I've done as demonstrations, that I've done in class, that I've done in my clinic. And I'm always amazed every time I do one at the depth of information that can come forward. And some of them are so wild. And we had one where all this person could do was make this crazy motion, like they were diving into something, and they just kept doing this, and they go like this and make a face and go whoosh. And we were like, I don't know what this is. And he couldn't even express in words what it was. This was what was happening with his body and what he was doing. He didn't understand why. He didn't know. He couldn't give me anything more to go on. So after the class, at the break, we had a discussion, and throughout, because I thought, well, maybe he was, some animal that was caught in the Arctic and was trying to break through the ice to live or something. And then we went a little further and a little deeper in our theorizing, and we actually came up with the concept of that perhaps he had regressed back to one of the times that he was conceived in whatever life. Conception, because there's that, we all know what conception is, the sperm going into the egg. So where, to fight and, right. And he was, I do remember saying something about having to get there and having to hurry and be ahead of everybody else. I remember that part too. So the things that have come up have been amazing. We have had people who have got rid of emotional distress. I've had people who have gotten over fears and phobias just in group sessions, which were amazing. It was absolutely amazing to just have this group session and this person no longer have their fear of cats. And someone else to understand where this protection energy that they carried with them all around came from, because they were left to die somewhere in another life. Where someone else who could laugh things off and think everything was fine, when in reality they were suffering. Or one of the best ones is someone getting rid of not only a fear or phobia, but a physical pain. They got rid of physical pain that they had all of their life. They never knew anything else but that pain. And after that regression, the pain was gone. So, past life regression doesn't happen every time, but it happens often enough that we get some very sudden and miraculous feeling events that happen and results for the client. They just it's amazing. I can't even begin to say to you what it is or isn't. So, oh my, excuse me. So past life regression. Now, if y'all are here, if you have any questions, please feel free to type in the chat, type a question in, and we'll just go on, because I'm going to offer, I've got a couple offers for you at the end. So far they're free, but we're going to give you some offers here to help you, because that's my goal. My goal is to help people. My goal is to help people understand more about themselves, not just as a person here, but as an energy. Who are you as energy? And part of knowing who you are as energy is also knowing who you were as energy. I've come to learn this in all the time I've been doing this and teaching this and working with this. This is one biggest thing I've learned, is that we are not just what's here. We are complex, energetic beings who have the ability and capacity to do miraculous things once we get the blocks out of the way. And I'm going to share an instance too of another time I was working with someone, and we did a past life regression because we couldn't explain any other way through the work of where a certain pain had come from. And when we went back, we found that they had been killed with blunt force trauma. And once we went through and we looked at the life purpose, what were they there for, why did this happen, and what was the outcome to be, and we resolved the questions that we needed to resolve and explored anything else that needed exploring, pain was gone. That's two I've had with pain that was gone. So the point is, we can do past life regression, all right? But you have to do therapeutics as well. It is not enough to go in, do a past life regression, find out what happened, and that be all there is to it. Just knowing what happened is not enough. We have to change the perceptions of that life. We have to change the energy of that life, because that energy of that life is what you're carrying around with you now. So if there are no therapeutics attached to a past life regression, you're just being nosy. That's it. You have to add therapeutics to it. If you do not, there's no point in even doing it, because it doesn't benefit the person. It doesn't benefit anybody. You must work through the therapeutics and come to some energetic resolution with that past life. That is, in fact, if there's anything I want you to know and remember, that's it. You must include, therapeutics must be included. You must be able to find out what's happening and why and what's going on. Because let me give you an example. If we go back and I take you back to a regression and you just tell me what's going on and I write it all down and I bring you back to this life and say, well, how was that? How did you think? What did you think about that? And how did that feel? Once they're out of hypnosis, once they're out of trance, it's now a conscious process. We're not working here with the subconscious anymore. We're not working with the part of the brain that can help us. We're now doing logical, conscious reasoning, and it doesn't work as well, if at all. Okay? That's why trance therapeutics has to happen. Okay? And that's the most important thing that I want you to get from this today. You are a complete and total energy. In fact, your energy extends far into the universe. And it terminates, I don't want to use that lightly, but it ends in a big mass of energy that is everything and every life and every whatever you are. So there is a wealth of information available to us if we can just access it. And so what I do is I help you access the information that's going to set you free. The information that is going to bring you into new space, new life, new time. Information that is going to help you heal yourself mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Because guys, you can go to a healer all day long. And you can have therapy. But the work is yours. You have to allow it. You have to work with it. You have to be ready to face what comes up, and you have to be ready to resolve what comes up, because that's where healing works. We are facilitators, as healers, as regressionists, as hypnotists, as whatever we are. We are the facilitator. You are the healer. You heal yourself, and we give you that sacred space to be able to heal yourself. Even in hypnosis, you're doing the healing. I'm guiding, I'm facilitating, but it's you that's doing the healing. Because, and one more thing I want to say, and it's not specific to past life regression, but it's so relevant to life today. We have no concept of how powerful we truly are. As people in these lives, we don't always have the concept of how truly powerful we are and of the things we can do. I'm going to share one more thing. I have someone that I work with that is able to plant things that are like a dead branch, like a dead flower, and not perennial or annuals or anything, and it will live. It's amazing. The people that I've run into with amazing abilities that they have been able to unlock by going through processes to help them get rid of the blocks, the irrational fears that they're carrying around with them. And that's what past life regression does as well. It's a modality, and it's a tool to help people get through whatever's in their way and get to the other side of it so that they can live the life. There's a life that you planned and intended to live when you arrived here. Okay? There is that life. And sometimes it gets blocked up by old patterns from other lives, old patterns in this life. And my goal is to help you move through the other side of those blocks and of those things that are keeping you stuck so that you can get to the other side, to the life that you planned. It's there waiting. We just have to get you caught up to it. It is there waiting. It is your job to catch up to it. And that's what I help people do, to put it real simply, through past life regression, through hypnosis, through whatever. Now, I told you there's some free things, and here's how you're going to get them. And if you're listening on replay, that's fantastic. Put it all up there. I will track it only on the live that's on my page. So hopefully it'll all work together. So I'll be tracking it on the live that's on my page. So if you would like a discounted, now this one isn't free, but a discounted past life regression, we're going to give you a reasonable discount for it. Excuse me. If you would like a past life regression at a discount rate because you were here on this broadcast, mark in the comments, I saw you. That will let me know that you were here on this broadcast. Now, this offer is good for this following week, okay? It will end, excuse me. Well, actually, we're going to give you 2 weeks. How about that? It's going to end on the 29th. Right. It'll end on Friday the 28th at midnight. That's when it'll end. Friday the 28th at midnight. So up until the 28th of May, you will be able to write on this video, I saw you, and I will then message you, and we will work out your past life regression, discounted past life regression. Okay, there's one. Second offer, this one's free. If you would like an audio file that assists you into a general regression, just to kind of help you out, put video. Audio. Write audio. And I will send you, and I'll message you, and we'll arrange that. Now, on the 29th of May, I'm going to be doing a free past life webinar from 1:30 in the afternoon until 3 p.m. So 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, the 29th. Free webinar. To get more, I haven't created the event yet, but I will do that right after here. So to get the link to the event, to the webinar, write in here, webinar. So, discounted past life regression, you write, I saw you, or I see you, whichever one. Audio file, just write audio. And again, I'll get back to you. I'll message you back. Or if you want to do the webinar, which is great because there's a lot of good information. It's a whole hour that we're going to talk about things, probably do a little demo here and there, and have a great time on the webinar. It's free, so all you have to do is write webinar. All right, and I will get back to you. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope this has been helpful. I hope this has given you some better insight into what past life regression is about. So, take care. I hope to see you in the webinar, or I hope to be able to work with you at some point in time. Good luck to you all the best, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.